Hello, how you guys doing? James here. Hope you're doing well. Um, I want to show you this video, and I made it from my last video. And shout out to this content creator for making this video. Hope you don't mind sharing it. But I wanted to point out, and I'm going to show you another video, and this is dealing with mixed race relationships and children of mixed race relationships. And this young man, content creator, he points some good views and made some good, excellent video. Points in video, but you're gonna hear from the people themselves when it came to people coming together. You're gonna hear about the other side of people, why they oppose to their child marrying someone that have a relationship with somebody of a different race. Remember when I said, I always say in my video, there's two types of racism. There's direct and there's indirect. There's people that directly are racist towards you, and there's people that do racism behind your back. But one people that do indirect racism behind your back, they put it on their children. And after I tell you the story, I got a few stories to tell you about why I know about this personally.
I'll be honest, I didn't really realize how racist some people are until I'm in an all-white space and people don't realize that I'm mixed.
What's popping world? Welcome to this YouTube space. I hope you are doing great wherever you're watching from. Thank you so much for being here. Kindly subscribe, like and comment on this YouTube. Now, the video I'm going to react to is biracial, race, like mixed race. You're black, you are white, your mother is black, your father is white, or your mother is white, your father is black. Now, there is this group of, the video I'm going to play for you, of biracial or mixed race people telling the secret of white people, because most of them, they clearly look like white. For example, if they are more of white, they look like white, but on the other side they are black because they have a black mother and a white father, or a black father and a white mother. So they are telling us the secrets of white people because it's easy for them to mingle with them without being noticed to be not of that race. So when they are there, you find a black or white people talking about some things, and most of this expose is about the racial utterances from the white people, how they think of black people or how they think of other race. They broke the code. I think it's exposing, like being in their midst and telling what they are saying, because they don't know about you. Doing a mission. They're called white passing. Let's watch these clips and then we go talk about them.
I have so many stories of growing up being biracial and white people just saying anything they wanted to say in front of me. One thing that I've noticed about being mixed, I'm half black, half white, but I think people who have any part black would probably be able to relate to this. And I know talking about being mixed on this app is not for the weak, but here I go. Also prefacing that I grew up in a predominantly white suburb. I go to a PWI, so I've been surrounded by a lot of white people throughout my life. But for some reason, racist people genuinely think they can confide in me. The amount of people who say things to me, or who act a certain way, or who are friends with me, but not friends with any other black people, or don't say anything to any other black people, because they think that because I'm half black, or I don't really look black, it's okay to say, it's okay to hang out with me, like I don't really count as black. Someone has actually told me that, well, she's not even that black to get mad about that. And it's always the people who are subtly racist and you don't know, and then finally their true colors come out. And I'm like, how have I been friends with you this whole time? And it's because they just don't think of you as black. So they don't have an issue with it. And then until they say something and get confronted about it, and then it's kind of like and it's always just them apologizing or them being sorry that I had my feelings hurt, and the intention wasn't for me to be upset, or the intention wasn't for me to be hurt. But I'm like, you should be apologizing for being racist, not hurting my feelings. The issue is you being racist racist, not how I feel about what you said. I don't know if any other mixed people can relate to this, but I just feel like the racist people think they can confide in me, and it's disgusting. But honestly, I can catch them all, so if you wanted to put your friend up to the test, or you wanted to see if someone was racist, send them my way, because eventually it's gonna come out. And
I'll be honest, I didn't really realize how racist some people are until I'm in an all-white space and people don't realize that I'm mixed.
I hear racist stuff all the time. It's time to expose. One time I was with this group of white people, and the girls were talking about this girl who had jungle fever. And this white girl goes, "Isn't it a shame to see our race mixing with another? What's going to happen to our white purity?"
About the time that a hate group was started at my high school called the NHRA. I'll let you guys try and guess what that stood for. And my friends were curious as to why I was completely pissed off because I'm not full black.
I am Mexican, full-blooded. And one time I was dating this guy, and his grandpa just moved to a different house. And he said, "Yeah, you grew up over here." And I'm like, "Oh, did you?" He's like, "Yeah, it's really different now." I'm like, "How so?" He's like, "Well, a lot of Mexicans and blacks live over here now."
I grew up in an extremely racist part of Louisiana. For instance, when I was in beauty school, going to one of my friend's house, and her mom asking me, like, "Does it gross you out to touch N-word's hair?"
I was at a pool party one time and this guy asked me, "What are you?" And I was like, "Well, I'm mixed." And he asked me with what? And I was like, "Black and white." And he was like, "So you're a half N-word?" Then he like turned to his wife and his whole family and was like, "Guys, guess what? Cole's a half N-word." And like everybody's laughing.
There was another time where I was at a party, and the only other black person there left early. Right after he left, one of the white dudes there proceeded to say the N-word. Not even in a song or anything, just said it out loud. When I confronted him about it, he said, "What? He's not here anymore." Little did he know that I'm a double agent.
Right now, I look mixed because my hair is done, but normally pretty white passing. If you worked in film before, you know like 11 hours is a normal day. A white passing Hispanic person had overheard one of the main actresses' distress cries to the director. Let's call the actress Biffany Babish. Miss Babish says, "My feet hurt, it's time to wrap." One more take. Miss Babish says, "Okay, well then you gonna pay for my medical bills." And this white Hispanic had the audacity to say, "Ooh, I'm so glad we have Miss Babish to go ghetto on them." I said, "Ghetto?" She said, "Yeah, black." Or talking about going to clean my car and another friend's mom saying, "Oh, you gotta go get the N-words to clean it." N-words are so good at cleaning cars. They know how to clean cars so good. N-words are so good at cleaning.
He's like, "You don't want to live in a neighborhood that has a lot of Mexicans and blacks." And I said, "You don't? Because why would you want to live in a neighborhood that has really good food and really awesome people?" My boyfriend at the time didn't say anything. Thanks, Kyle.
There was another time where we were talking about an opposing basketball team. We were talking about why the team was so good, and somebody goes, "They're only good because they let all the charity cases on the team." There were no white people on this team. I'm sure I'm not the only white passing person with.
Hi, my name is Sophia, and today I'm going to be talking about my race and my ethnicity and how they affect me on a daily basis. So, before I begin, I want to discuss the difference between race and ethnicity, in my opinion, and how I think of it in regards to myself. So, the way I always thought of it was that race was what people saw on you, so the color of your skin, sometimes the texture of your hair, or like facial features. And ethnicity is what made you who you are, like what your parents were, like where you come from, things like that. So for me, my ethnicity is white. I have very European features. I have very light skin and kind of light eyes and light hair. But my ethnicity is biracial, which seems funny because you use a term with the word race in it to describe an ethnicity, but I'll get into that more in a little bit. So I am multi-ethnic, biracial. My mom is black and my dad is white. And the reason I say biracial when describing my race is because my mom is black and American and came to America through slavery many, many years ago. We don't really know where our family is from on her end. So I can't say I'm white and from Niger, or I can't say I'm white and Caribbean, or white and Brazilian, or white and African even, because we just don't know, and there aren't that many records documenting where we came from. So for me, the way I describe myself is biracial, white, and black. Now, for some, it may seem kind of odd. Maybe you know other white and black kids who don't look like me and have more like mixed looking features. I don't know why I'm as light as I am. It just kind of happened. But nonetheless, I am still a person of color. Now that can get confusing because when a lot of people think person of color, they think skin color. And that's, the way I see it, that's just not correct. Because being a person of color, in my mind, means you are not white. And I am not fully white, half white. So the way I go about explaining this for the first time to people is I say I'm a white passing black person, or a white passing mixed person, or a white passing biracial person, or half black, half white, but white passing. Essentially the big word is white passing, which means I experience white privilege. I go about my life with people assuming that I'm white, and I get privilege that I experience the privileges that come with being white. For example, I am more likely to get a job if I say I'm white and not white and black. I'm less likely to be harassed because of my race, and I'm less likely to be treated differently because of my race with people who don't know me. So I kind of wear what my mom calls the complexion for the protection, which is interesting to me because I don't look like my siblings. My sister's very dark, and my brother looks mixed, but kind of still looks less passing than I do. So I go about my life with this disconnect from my ethnicity and my racial makeup because I don't look like what I am, and a huge part of being black is being connected, and a huge part of being part of any race is being connected with the people of your race. And that can be difficult because a lot of people don't understand why it matters to me that I am half black and half white when I do receive white privilege. And a lot of people don't understand why they should care and consider me a person of color when I look the way I do. And to that I say, I am what I am. I know what I am. And it is not up to somebody else to tell me what I can and cannot be racially or ethnically. But it's still something that stirs a lot of conflict in particularly classroom environments. I go to a predominantly white school, and so looking the way I do, I look like I make up that predominantly white school, and I do. But when it comes time to discuss things such as racism and slavery in history class or black poetry in English class, I consider myself to be more on the black side, which can be a cause for conflict because a lot of people, and I don't want to say strictly white people because in my experience it has not always been strictly white people, but a lot of people have been very uncomfortable with me considering myself or calling myself black when I am just as black as any other half black, half white kid that isn't as light as me. And that is hard because I have to continue to explain myself and explain my ethnic and racial existence to people wherever I go. And there are times when I wish I didn't have to do that, but with that and with that struggle, I do accept the fact that I receive white privilege, and that in our society is a very, very big and important thing. So, to wrap things up, I am not white. I appear white. I am white and black, making me a person of color, technically a black person, but also still white passing. So if you didn't get anything else from this video, the three major key points are: not all light-skinned people are just white. You can be half black and look completely white. And people who look white but aren't completely white can in fact be people of color.
Welcome back. Now, the time I'm shooting this video is past midnight. It's like 3 a.m. my time in Kenya. So when you see my eyes like sleepy, I'm not sleepy. I'm just working late hours. So these videos that I've showed you, these guys of these sisters and brothers, they are not white, neither they are not black. They are mixed race, white not that white, but they are just passing on a white family. So they have revealed secrets and racist utterances that are coming from the white people. And there's a lot has been said. I hope you have heard that. A lot have been said. And from what I have known, that is that a lot of black people or a lot of white people, they say or they hate on black people, not because they want to hate on black people, but because some of them, they are getting this from maybe their family, maybe they are carrying it on. It's like the parents have taught them just to be like that. Because if you know, as a white baby is born and a black baby is born, they be friends when they are young, but issue starts when they start going maybe junior school, something like that. They're being told not to play with that black family, not to play with that, not to do that. So at some point, I think that most of these white people, most of the youths, they never knew about racism. They never knew about discriminating and about segregation. No,
that's true.
They learned from. They were being told. That's why we always say this thing is studied in school.
Right.
Okay. So these are the secrets of the white people being exposed openly to the world. Openly to the world, because they don't know if this is white or this is black. And I think it's an advantage to be mixed race. Black people think you are white. The white people think you are white. The funny thing is that the black people think you are white, but the white people, they know you are white. So it's easily to get away with the white people's secrets. Very easy to get away with them. So, there's a video I was watching where this Dr. George was saying that he was in the midst of white people, and the white people were saying that, we don't think.
Okay, get to the next video.
Assalamu alaikum. Thanks to all my subs and supporters who watch, like, share, and comment on the videos. It's greatly appreciated. Anybody who would like to support the channel, the link to my book, The N-Word is No Secret in the Service, is in the description of every video. We also have the Runaway Slave store, link in the description. Go grab yourself a souvenir or something like that. Let's cook. Okay, people, so a black man by the name of Anthony Williams, 63 years of age, retired cop. He just got married, okay, to a white woman by the name of Katsiana Sheshoka. I think I'm pronouncing her name right, I'm not sure. Of course, this is not an American white person, but this man, Anthony Williams, he's in Snow Bunny heaven. Just got married. She's 34 years of age, he's 63. They were on their honeymoon, traveling from Arizona to Miami. Now, this went down in September of 2022, but there's some things about this situation in the news now because lawsuits and stuff like that. So these two are on the plane, minding their own business. They're flicking it up, they're taking pictures, they're smiling, they're going to their honeymoon, okay? They're traveling to Miami. They're traveling to Miami for a honeymoon. So while they're on the plane, some nosy white American passengers seen them, went and told the flight crew that they believed that this black man, Anthony Williams, was trafficking his white wife. Okay? Some nosy white American person went and caused this chaos.
It's very stressful when you're trying to go to your honeymoon and enjoy a good time, and next thing you know, you're being pulled over by police and flight attendants for something you didn't do anything wrong.
Attorney Ben Taylor is talking about this case filed last week. It alleges the couple pictured here, Anthony Williams, a black man, was falsely accused of human trafficking his wife, Katsiana Sheshoka. The documents show the couple was headed to their tropical honeymoon on a flight from Phoenix to Miami.
Whenever you just, assume something, that's going to get you in trouble. And here, it shows that the airline attendants just assumed. They assumed that there was something going on. They assumed there was trafficking without even asking a question, without even questioning.
The The lawsuit claims a passenger told the flight crew they suspected human trafficking. The crew then did not question the couple or complete any sort of investigation. The suit also claims the couple was imprisoned by airline employees escorting them off the plane. The couple claimed they were confused and embarrassed as police detained and questioned them.
They need to do some training to be able to clean up their culture at American Airlines.
Taylor, who is a civil rights attorney not affiliated with this case, says this is the latest racial discrimination lawsuit against the airline. The company settled another case last month. In that case, 8 black men were told to deplane an American flight from Phoenix to New York after a flight attendant complained about body odor.
This case is a repeat offender here. You have American Airlines who has done this before, and it shows that they are doing it again. And as an attorney, they're definitely negligent for this.
Now again, the lawsuit claims that the company...
So, American Airlines continues to represent the name well, American, grounded in racism and white supremacy, okay? You know, they called the police on this couple, you know what I'm saying? They were detained, questioned, humiliated. They got them standing there looking stupid like they actually did something, you know, until these police officers were approved of the responses they gave, and then they can go. Now let me help you understand something. There was nothing that these newlyweds were doing on this plane that would imply or raise the antennas that she was being trafficked. There was nothing going on in this plane. There was nothing that they were doing. This person called because they seen a black man with a white woman, and that's it. They said, boom, we call him. And the airline, with no evidence of this accusation except the words of a so-called honorable white American. People, how many times have we said it, man? All it takes is one white supremacist to ruin your day. That's it. All it takes is one. White people can exercise their power at every level. You know what I'm saying? That's why when people talk that government against us, talk the powers that be, all that elite talking, this, and that, while a lot of that is probably true, they try to say this stuff like, oh, we're all together, it's us and these elites, and they're all doing this to us, while a lot of that is probably true. What people have to understand is black people are dealing with these terrorists in their faces in everyday life. You know what I mean? Because white people can exercise their power at any time. All it takes is one to destroy a black life. White people have to deal with racist people at the Dunkin' Donuts, at the gas station, at work, at the soccer field, at the baseball field, you know, at the dance studio for kids. They got to deal with them here. They got to deal with them when they go in there. They got to deal with them at the DMV, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Wherever there are white people, they're going to be racist. You could have 25 white people who have good behavior and manners. All it takes is one, and white people can exercise the power that they have. You know, white supremacy, they can do that, and all it takes is one. All it takes is this fat, miserable white lady who's a dispatcher to destroy your career if you're a truck driver because she's not giving you any good routes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just because she's this is the type of stuff that black people deal with in everyday life. You know what I mean? So suppose that incident right there with that man and the white woman didn't go by smooth. Suppose he responded different. He could have died right there that day. Whenever the police are coming, there's a black man there, you have a chance of dying. It don't matter what it's for. It don't matter if you get pulled up. Listen, man. Listen. That went by smooth. I know people have their own idea about the black man with the snow bunny and the Becky and everything. I can dig it, you know what I'm saying? But his life is not the narrative anyway. You got to look at this thing in the grand scheme here. You could be a black person, right? It could be you. You could be on a plane going somewhere with a white coworker, straight business. You going somewhere to get a bag of money, or you going somewhere to make things happen to support your family. That could be you. This was all about a black man and a white woman. That was it. It was not about no trafficking. You know what I mean? This man is suing American Airlines. I think he said he won like $75,000. And listen, this is what American Airlines does. They're no stranger to this racist behavior. In September of 2023, this professional guitarist by the name of David Ryan Harris, maybe you know him, maybe you don't. He's a very popular musician in them circles, that musician circle. But people who don't know about his music, you know, a lot of us, we may not know about him. But this dude was accused of trafficking his own biracial kids on an American Airlines flight going across the country.
Choose from thousands of realistic voices to use in your content.
He's on a flight with his biracial kids from his white wife, you know what I mean? And somebody said, oh no, this man's kidnapping or trafficking these kids. Man was devastated. This was about a black man with some white kids. Yeah, I could see where somebody said, yeah, that kid is white, but okay, what is it your business? Black people don't get on planes and traffic people. Black people don't do that. Black people don't, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't none of your business in the first place, and you were wrong. Something funny about this black man, David Ryan Harris here, he hashtagged a picture of his biracial son, and the hashtag said, good hair don't care. Some of you Negroes is hilarious, man. Hey, but yeah, man. But anyway, back to the seriousness. This is what's going on, y'all. You gotta really watch out and pay attention. All it takes is one white supremacist to destroy your life. And you know what? This for white people. This is how you mess things up. And you even mess things up for yourselves, white Americans. You know, are you concerned about safety for real? Because there are people who are really trafficked. There are children who are really trafficked, or women or girls and things like that who are really trafficked.
Right.
But what was your motive for doing this?
Right.
Was it because you care about the safety of people? I don't think so.
No.
I think that what you're doing is driven by racism and white supremacy, Satanism.
Right.
See, that's how you white Americans. That's how you mess things up. See what you do. You have to improve your behavior, man. You mess things up for everybody because you want to sit back and be a nosy cracker. You know, I can see if you're being aware and observant, but no, you're being a nosy cracker, and look at what you cause. So next time something like this happens, who knows? People might be like, whatever, man, and it might be real. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, people, easy.
I'll be honest, I didn't really realize.
Now I'm about to come in on my comment. Now, I'm going to say something, and I don't care if I get offended because this is the truth. Some people say, you know, I'm not like that because I'm a Christian. And I find that all God's children are the same. But it could be some people some people talk like that would be the very ones. When you call them out, they'll say some excuse like that. That's the indirect one. I'm gonna tell you what they call what they do, and they don't like to be called out, especially with another white person say, "You need to stop that. That's bull crap." Someone who stand up for righteousness. This is what I'm talking about subconsciously and consciously, that there are people that do. And if any black person that sit up there and say there's no racism, you need to check this video out, because you're hearing it from children of two ethnic, and what they don't say to you as a black person, they say it in front of them. Some get so comfortable when you're the only black person. Depends on what kind of environment you are. That's when they feel more comfortable, because they're going to see how you respond. So what the young man was saying was true. Like I said, I've dated women who had biracial children that their relatives were racist. I dated a biracial woman that she lived in sundown town. They traumatized her so much. She had, I can show you the picture where she's going like this, and her mom, and it was what really pisses me off is that her mom was in denial. Oh, she just, it's not like that. Oh, she just having, and they always got some kind of excuse. No, it is what it is. And even and it's something that when I was dating the one woman that lived in Kentucky, I'm finding out from some people who were few that I talked on the phone who were white, confirming that this part of Kentucky, lower part of Kentucky, was racist, and they had to live up out of it because they weren't in agreement with it. And thank God for the ones that stood up. I've seen it. I had white people told me from saying that this was before a black person telling me this, that they said about outskirts of Columbus, Lancaster, Ohio. It was once of the Ku Klux Klan. White people told me this. White person told me that if they see a black and white person going along together, they assuming that they doing some drugs. White person told me this. They told in slogans that they use, the N-word trees, N-rig. They come from that and they use it in their language. They pick up the byproduct and they say it's a catchy thing. And you ever see the movie The Toy? There's some white people. If you ever see that movie with Richard Pryor, they're telling you a lot. There's some white people thinking you like they're your amusement like you're a toy. Because like this is their first black friend. And what the young brother was saying from King, I think he's King, and he was saying how some people come over and how they would get all excited, and that because someone come over to their village and bring them balls and stuff like that. But he saw right through it. He said he didn't understand why people get so happy, and just to feel like they did something good. And was another thing that really bothers me about this stuff too. The people who have problems with looking at a black person with a white person, whether it's a friendship or whether it's a relationship, whether it's a relationship like that, they live around the neighborhood. They live around these people. It's like if you feel that it bothers your psyche. In Ohio, we have 88 damn counties. Out of the 88 counties, majority of classification, this is to you indirect racist people that are, so you don't have to see it. It's white. You might see one black person in a rural area, two, the most. But some of you who have that subconscious racist, you do, and you don't think that we pick up on stuff like that. And I'm glad that your children says this stuff, or the company of your people. I've heard that talk. What they were telling you, they telling you right. They so bold to say it, and this is what makes some people, why some black people feel the way they do is toward white people, because when they hear stories like this, you're revealing who you really are. And you're revealing that's that past that you're trying to neglect and deny, that you don't want to talk about it. You won't correct your friend. You won't correct your family members. And you associate with that person. And you cover up. I've seen it. Some people subconsciously are racist. In America, we're one of the countries that have it bad. Other countries have the similar issue to us, but we have. It is so embedded. It's some people over time get over it. They just deal with it. It might be a few remnant of people in other places, but America is one of the countries that gotta push it. And maybe because it's a Western country, I think that's what it is. But when we say, hey, let's pack up and get away from you, the same subconscious people will want to go where the people is. It's like, why you want to go over there? We leaving you to your land. You want and reproduce and things like that. Well, are extinguishing the race. How are you extinguishing the race when white people in this country is 88%? And I'm gonna tell this to the black people. White people don't want to mix. Every white person want to blend in with us. Some people don't even want to associate with you, especially when they come in their friends. Oh, they can put on a face. Some people put on a face. I've seen it throughout my life. But it takes it takes some individual who finds somebody attractive of a different race, and you have a problem with it. You think that the whole white race is going to influence that. That's your insecurity. And if you're black and you think like that, that could be your insecurity too, because that's not every black person go through that. Not every black person go have money, and because there's other women on the planet, whether it's a black man or black woman that picks a different type of race of man, or a black man picks a different type of woman. That's a fact. Because maybe whatever job, your education, your economics, and what you believe and what you have encountered lies beneath. But to them subconscious racist people, they are the worst than the direct. Some people, I've heard black people, I'd rather deal with someone directly racist than an indirect racist. Because they let you know right up front. They say, hey, and that's what it is. They say, okay, that's the way you feel. Let me go over here. You go over here. I know not to stay away from it. But it's the very ones that put on a face. That's the ones that if you, let's say people say that you have a Biden and you have a Trump, and they would say that Trump is the racist. At least he lets you know what's really on his mind. He lets you know. Let's say if he was, let's say, man, I don't know if he is or not. Some people say he is. Some people say, but Biden is the dangerous one because he does things indirect racist in the Democrat Party, and black people back him up. But they want to make him look like the racist. But he the one to tell you, if you ain't black, you don't vote for me. He was the one that told he didn't want his black children going to school with no black kids. He was the one. He's the indirect racist, even though he was a vice president of a mixed race president, had a mixed race president. Do you understand what I'm saying? It don't matter. And that was just one of the things it was about. That's the indirect racist. And black people, in Black Caucus is the other one, think he's the coolest thing. But they so mad at Trump. Let's say, and I always say, if Trump, at least you know where Trump come from with his. If he was like that. But the sneaky one is people like Biden. And that's the Democrats. You might have some Republicans like that on a political scale. You know, that's and this is and then as black people we're arguing about that. This is what I'm talking about. It don't matter because when there's a majority of the people, you don't know how the majority of the white people, a certain percentage of white people that have these inner feelings. And they don't boldly tell you something like this because subconsciously, if they see another person look like them, they can execute what they can say because you're not one of the other races that they don't like. People are subconsciously prejudiced. and they don't want to deal with it. And I don't care what their spiritual or religious status is, they can put on the face. And I've seen it over time. So, if I was a mixed race couple, United States, be careful where you live in the United States. Be careful where you raise your children in the United States. And I pray that you don't be around some people who are racist. It's disgusting telling your child something what they told this. And sometimes my white friend, female, male, people will say things to you. They might say things to your kid sarcastically because they think you don't know nothing. But we supposed to move on. We're supposed to love each other. We're all human. Some people don't see that. Subconsciously they still see race. America will always see race spiritually. It's trained in everything. When you come when you cross the Atlantic and step on the shore, you see it within a certain amount of time and months. You feel it. This is one of the countries in the world that you feel race. It even bothers some people. Some people just see other people in other parts of the world. But race in America is one thing that it is. No one questions your nationality. What land you from? How many different parts of the country on the continent of Africa or South America or Asia? They see race. And then the racial lines is drawn. This is the truth. We were taught race. That's why I'm so proud of my people who leave America. At least you stay for a certain amount of time, you unwind that out your mind. Because it's been so embedded in us from all races. It's been embedded to us. But we're patriot, yeah. But under that patriotism, under the blanket, is racism. And some form of racism. And as long as we battling with the enemies abroad, once the enemies abroad, we go back being racist. History already showed that. All Americans died in wars. But after the war was over, we went back to being racist. Didn't change. All the things are right, didn't change. You're dealing with an old system here. And this is what I realized that. So pick your friends, and when you see people talking like that, cut away from them. Leave them alone. Until my mixed race people, you're blessed. God have to teach some of these people who have this unreality check problem. That at the end of the day, you're not made to feel less than. And the ones that say that to these mixed race people, they slow. They're going to stand before the Lord and give account of the very words they say. You're blessed. If you're black, you're blessed. If you whatever your learning skills, you're blessed. Don't let no one make you feel that way. Whatever your class is, you're blessed. No one's superior than another. That's a lie. They divide us up, and the people who believe and think that way, they're going to find out one day when they leave this earthly body, everybody's going back to the original human being. We're going to be a ball of light. Too bad subconsciously white people can't deal with this, black people can't deal with this, and other people can't deal with this because of what they were shown. So maybe somewhere along the line, and anybody who have this to come across this video, you have that subconscious prejudice. I pray that God deal with you. And you teaching your kids something like that, I pray that God deal with you. Because you need help. Being black is not a curse. It's not less than. Or being poor white is not a curse or less than. It's what the society who did it. And they did it on this. Now you see the truth. And if you're the type of person that says something like this to another person, watch what you say. I had it happen to a woman that worked for this apartment complex. You know, a tenant here said something like that to her, and guess what? She was a white Latino. She had blonde hair. You know what she said to this woman? Oh, I'm glad it's good to see another white person here. But we've been kind to this woman. We always show this woman with some respect. She even had a black boyfriend. Too bad he jumped on her. Not because he was black, he was just a jerk. Too bad people can't distinguish that, but subconsciously, you can find a man who's white can be a jerk, but subconsciously you can't. Because you, deep down, you see race. And if I could tell this to a black man and black woman, be careful. That when you get somebody with another race, you make sure that they love you for you. Not because of a stereotype or fantasy. Just like you do with your own race. Be blessed to you on this video, and I hope this bless somebody and get someone to think. Remember, God's watching.